I've been creating this blog for a while now, and what most people don't know is that I make my video postings several at a time and up to a month ahead of time, as I have time to put them together because I'm very busy doing lots of other video work and photography work as well. Right now, at this very moment, Hurricane Michael has just made landfall in Florida, and it got me thinking about my next video, and I thought I'd put one together on tips for disaster preparedness, as the frequency of climate change disasters coupled with the aging baby boomer generation mean that more and more senior citizens may find themselves in harm's way in the future. Hi, I'm Jim Costa. I'm a photography, videography, and technology guru, and I created this blog to help you to become a tech-savvy senior. My tips and advice are useful to anyone, but my specific focus is in helping seniors to become more familiar with technology to improve and better their lives. In researching this video, I found a ton of useful information from the US government. I'll link to that information in the comments section below. Some important tips to keep in mind when preparing for any type of disaster include: know what disasters could affect your area in which you live, including which could call for an evacuation and when to shelter in place. Personally, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we're subject to volcanoes and snowstorms. These require different types of preparedness from someone who lives in the South, for example, where hurricanes and flooding are potential disasters, or in California, where earthquakes are common, or in the Midwest, where tornadoes happen regularly. Know your area and what problems you may face, and don't forget to take into account seasonal problems, such as fires in the summer, for example, or flooding in the spring that might occur. First and foremost, you must stay informed. To do this, keep a NOAA weather radio tuned to your local emergency station and monitor TV radio and follow mobile alerts and mobile warnings about severe weather in your area. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration issues weather broadcasts in the 162 megahertz range, so you should consider getting a battery-operated radio with fresh batteries on hand that can pick up the alerts. If you have a smartphone, you can download a weather app. I personally use the Weather Channel app. It's free and it works pretty good. I'm not sponsored by the Weather Channel, by the way, in any way. I just find the app useful so I can plan ahead for not only disasters, but do I need a raincoat today, or do I need a jacket, or whatever. It's free on the App Store and the Android Store, and it works great. Second, you must make a plan. You need to determine any assistance you may need and include that in your emergency plan. For example, do you need special medical care of any kind, or do you have trouble with mobility? You should take these things into consideration when you're planning ahead on what to do in an emergency. Create a support network of family, friends, and others who can assist you during an emergency, and share your disaster plans with them so they know what to expect. You want people to know where you are and where you'll be so they know you're safe. Practice your plan with them as well. When we were kids in school, we had fire drills for a reason. The last thing you want to do is panic in a disaster. By practicing your plan, you can keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Also, make sure family members have an extra key to your home so they can get to you in an emergency, even if it's something simple like you have a fall in your home and you need help. Know where to keep your emergency supplies and how to use life-saving equipment or to administer medicine for yourself or for someone who needs it. Having an EpiPen, for example, does you no good if you can't find it in an emergency. You need to have it with you. See what I'm saying? If you undergo routine treatments administered by a clinic or hospital, find out what their emergency plans are and work with them to identify backup service providers for yourself if you need help. I can't stress this enough. Most of the fatalities, for example, from Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, came after the storm was over, and many of the lives lost were results from people not being able to achieve the long-term medical care that they needed. So, you need to have a plan on how to get your dialysis, your treatment for cancer, or even your own medicines. You need to know what to do if there's a disaster. If you have a communication-related disability, note the best way to communicate with other people. Maybe it's sign language or English is a second language to you. Whatever the circumstances may be, make certain you can easily relay to anyone, even strangers, what your needs are. Additionally, you should consider means of communication outside the norm. For example, in an emergency, power lines are often down and cellular service can be difficult, but you may still be able to let people know you're okay in other ways. For example, you could try to send out a text. Even if you can't make a call on your cell phone, a text message might go through because it takes up less bandwidth. If you're someplace with Wi-Fi still working, you could try to post on social media as well to let others know you're okay. Don't forget your pets or service animals in your plan. Not all shelters accept pets, so plan for alternatives and remember when packing supplies to bring any food or medicines your pets need as well. Prepare an emergency kit for your pet as well as yourself. Consider loved ones or friends outside of your immediate area as people you can turn to for help if, for example, there's damage to your home and you need to go to another state or something. You should have a plan worked out with other relatives who weren't in the disaster who can help you. You're going to need a kit of emergency supplies. Now, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, recommends a kit with 3 days of supplies per person. Personally, I recommend at least a week or more of supplies per person, but that's just me. The kit should include the following items. You need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, non-perishable foods, and a can opener if the foods are in cans and you want to make sure you can get that open. You need a battery-powered or hand-crank radio with fresh batteries, flashlight with fresh batteries, a first aid kit, a whistle to signal for help, a dust mask to help filter out contaminated air, and plastic sheeting and duct tape to cover windows. If you need, like say if a window is blown out, you need something to keep the weather out. You want moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties for personal sanitation, because you may not have water. You need a wrench or pliers to turn off utilities such as the gas line outside your house. You want local maps on paper, because if there's no cell service, you can't use like your phone's GPS. You need medicines that you take regularly, and you also want to include other items that you might not normally think of, such as an extra pair of glasses or contact lenses, and extra batteries for things like hearing aids if you wear one. Also, make certain that the items in your kit haven't expired. It's a good idea to check your kit regularly, just as you would check the batteries in your smoke detector, maybe once a year or at the time change. Now, you should also keep hard copies of important documents in your emergency supplies kit as well, such as insurance forms and birth certificates. Electronic copies on your computer are fine unless the power is out and you can't access the documents that you need. Finally, if you receive benefits through the mail, such as Social Security, a disaster can disrupt mail service for days or even weeks. If you depend on Social Security or other regular benefits, switching to electronic payments is a simple but significant way to protect yourself financially before a disaster strikes. It also eliminates the risk of stolen checks. The U.S. Department of Treasury recommends 2 safe ways to get federal benefits electronically. First is direct deposit to a checking or savings account, and I'll link in the comment section below to how to do this. The other is the Direct Express prepaid debit card, and it's designed as a safe and easy alternative to getting a check. And you use it just like debit card or credit card from your bank. Now, if you found the information I provided in this video useful, please like it, comment below, share it, and remember to subscribe to my channel, Jim Costa Films. If you would like more information on becoming a tech-savvy senior or to see other videos and photos, you can connect with me by looking for Jim Costa Films on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and online. I currently have over 4,100 videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, so feel free to check it out and see many of my other videos, including many videos on becoming a tech-savvy senior. I also have a new Facebook group called Video Producers and Content Creators, so look for that on Facebook to connect there, join the group, and get even more pro tips and tricks.